Well, good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughterzinski for the Brevard Sports Network in our summer series of interviews. And we continue here tonight with a big guy. We got one of the big guys in here tonight. My favorite guys growing up as an athlete were always the guys on the offensive line because, well, let's just say as a quarterback, they shall be the guys you take care of the most. And I tell you, I'm really excited to talk to this young man because when he first of all, let me just say this: when he walked through the door, he looked like he was ready to line up and start for an SEC team next fall. There's no doubt about that. But please help me welcome here Mr. James Hinds, the rising Melbourne senior. James, how are you, my friend?
Doing great.
Make sure you pull that a little closer and make sure you hit into that microphone there. So you're doing good. We were talking before you went on air. Before we went on air, get us up to date on what you've been doing this summer, man.
I've been to 9 college camps so far. Mostly,
9.
9.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Mostly in the state of Florida. I've also been up to West Point, up in New York, and Northern Michigan University, and up north a little bit. I have my 10th one tomorrow at West Florida.
Okay.
But when I'm not going to college camps, I've been going to team workouts and making sure I'm getting ready for next year. Really trying to focus on technique and my stance and starts, focus on the fundamentals so that once we get into season, I can have the tools to build off of that into the actual playing during games.
You obviously you play for the Melbourne Bulldogs. You guys have had a lot of success over the last couple of years. Talk a little bit about the last couple of years there at Melbourne. I mean, you've been on that offensive line since you were what, a sophomore, right? Sophomore, yeah. I mean, so you've been right there protecting Hunter Turner, you and Cody Black, who of course now is at USF, and kind of a little bit of a changeover. And we're going to get to all that coming up this year. But talk a little bit about the last couple of years and how it's prepared you to A, be that senior leader, and B, what have you taken from it?
It's really been a blessing, honestly. My freshman year, I just moved in from Michigan. I still live in Michigan. I lived there for like 6 years before.
What part?
Freshman year. Northern Michigan, Powers, Michigan.
Okay.
Right on the border of Wisconsin.
Yep.
And coming down from playing 8-man football in Pop Warner and from Michigan football to down here to where we had a 4-star on our team my freshman year, Chase Smith. He was there. We had guys who are now at big-time D1 schools. It was kind of jaw-dropping, and I never saw football like that close. In my freshman year, seeing these guys who were our leaders and great athletes and with great personalities, it really inspired me to want to be more. My freshman year, I got to suit up for varsity, never played. It was a tough year with COVID and everything.
Sure.
Quarantines and everything. It was really, really tough year. We had great coaches with a lot of great understanding of the game.
Took care of Palm Bay at Palm Bay for the first time.
We did, and
yeah,
that was awesome. It was the last 20 seconds of the game, and like our O-line coach came over to me and he's like, "All right, James, you're gonna get put in." I'm like, "What, coach?" Those guys are like 200 pounds more than me. All right, we'll put you in. And then the buzzer rang, and he's like, "Oh, never mind." I was like, "Oh man, just."
You were ready to go, man.
I was ready. I was scared.
Looking at you, scared. Hey, you remember that first time as a sophomore lining up on that line? What were your butterflies like? You know, take me through that first start on that offensive line. What was going through the mind of James Hinds?
Yeah, my first almost taste of it was that spring game my freshman year. Now, it wasn't technically a varsity game, so I was nervous, and playing throughout the game, I looked very stiff and nervous. But then we got to my sophomore year, and Heritage was our kickoff classic. And playing through that game, it was a lot different than anything I ever saw in JV, and it was different than anything I ever saw in Little League. And it was just like, you got the band playing, and you got everyone yelling and
It's a different atmosphere. Melbourne's one of those schools that has that great tradition. The alumni are fantastic. The Booster Club, go ahead.
I love the community there because, there was, I think, it was in the first half for sure. I don't remember what play, but Hunter dropped back. We were in pass protection, and Jalen Smith-Clark was running. I think he was just running to go. Like, he was just going forward to catch the ball. And Hunter throws a great ball straight to Jalen, and the crowd exploded. And that was my first moment of, like, I can't hear anything right now.
Right.
I hope it's good, but I'm just trying to block the guy in front of me.
You guys have done it all up front. You've blocked for a record-setting quarterback. You blocked for Tony Wright, who was a fantastic running back. So you've kind of done it all up on that line up front there. And what is the most important technique? Is it hands? Is it hips? Is it feet? What would you say is the most important thing that an offensive lineman needs to work on almost daily? Or is it strength?
As far as, like, the game goes, it's definitely your feet and base.
Right.
But overall, what I've learned, after my sophomore year, I like, asked my coach. I was like, hey, coach, I felt like I struggled a lot this year. What was the biggest thing that helped you through playing in high school and college? And he said strength.
Strength.
He said I was like $170 when I got to – no, $150 when I got to Miami. And then coming – into my senior year, I was about 20 or 30 pounds more than that and able to do 100 pounds more on all my maxes, each individual max.
You have to talk about Coach Kintai. Yeah.
And getting stronger in the weight room, it's almost mind-boggling how much easier. It hasn't made the game easy, but it's made it so much easier just to do the fundamentals. And then you can actually produce on a higher level. And
where did you play youth football? West Melbourne?
It was Pop Warner up
Pop
in Michigan.
Warner. Okay, all right, that's right. You moved down here. Now, did you play any other sports growing up, or do you throw the shot put, or do you do anything else? But is it just football for you?
In Michigan, I was football, basketball, baseball. And I like to say aggressively average at all three of those.
I got you. I like that term.
Yeah, I was going to practice every day and working, but I wasn't going to be the all-star.
Gotcha. You were the guy they could count on to come through, yeah?
Yeah, but I came to Florida, and I saw the guys who were playing football, and I was like, all right, I need to not be average at everything and try to focus on a couple of things.
Instead of the jack of all trades, master one.
Yep, and try to be the best version of myself I can be on the field. And I do track now.
Do you?
I never did it before my freshman year, but I throw shot put and discus.
Nice.
And I really like it because it's therapeutic compared to football. Like, football's all aggressive and hitting and smash mouth, and you get to track, and I'm just throwing a metal rock and going home.
And 90% of the guys out there with you is a camaraderie from other schools.
Yep.
You know, all you big guys on the offensive line. So I certainly see that here with where are you at? Left tackle this year?
I'll probably be guard and center.
Guard center. Okay, guard and center. James Hinds. All right, James. Let's get to the nitty gritty of this. Last year, I came in to Coach Kintai invited me in, and I came in and I talked to you guys about the do's and the don'ts of social media and some of the things that you should put on and some of the things you shouldn't put on. And back, I'm not sure when it was, a couple of weeks ago, actually back on July 5th, the day after the 4th, you put out a tweet that most definitely should have been on social media. It went viral, and it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to read it, and there it is on the screen, so follow along at home, if you will. The hardest thing about this transfer portal in high school isn't losing athletes. It's losing teammates, brothers, and guys that were like a family. I understand it's how the football world wants to turn now, but it's been hard. Wish we could just play the game. I love hearing stories from my grandpa about how my grandpa and my great-uncle would have such strong relationships with their teammates decades after they played. But as the world continues to turn, I see less and less of that camaraderie and more of the all about me. I don't know. I'm sorry, Twitter. This is just my soapbox for today. I just miss my guys and what they were when they were a part of the family. Outstanding tweet. Well said. Well written. Obviously, the big off-season news in the county is the number of transfers from Melbourne. out to other schools this year. So obviously that's what prompted this tweet. But explain that tweet and what got you thinking about that.
Um, it was January, February timeframe where we had the first transfer out. We were coming off the season, and I was disappointed that we stopped where we did, but I knew it was my time to work harder and push us guys to all work harder and try to be the best version of ourselves that we can be for next year. But when we lost that amazing freshman QB, he transferred to Cocoa.
Right.
That was the start of what turned into a spiral effect, I guess. He's a great kid. I love the kid. He did what he wanted to do and what was best for him. So
Right.
I can't be mad about it. But it was just tough because it's like that's a guy I want to.
You wanted those.
I want to teach.
You want to go to war with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a great personality, great kid. I have no doubt that he's going to do great things at Cocoa. Really great things.
I see it in you. Talk about that camaraderie because you mentioned that with your grandfather and your great uncle, and I know that you guys, you, Cody, and the other guys on that. Talk about that camaraderie you're referring to.
It's just like it's what keeps me it's what anytime like when days get hard and everything, and when you're going through a workout
Which is a lot.
tough, and your coaches are trying to break you down so they can build you back up. It's that keeps you in it, and that's what keeps me loving the game and wanting to be part of the game, because I love having that kind of second family and second connection to a bunch of group of guys. Like it's like always there when we see each other in the halls at school and stuff. We can say hi, what's up, and
you don't even have to say anything. It's an unreal. Yeah, I get it.
When you're working out with someone too, and you have workout buddies and stuff, it's almost like you guys can talk telepathically too.
Right.
I mean, I have guys where I can give them a look, and we can both start
Laughing.
falling out laughing.
Yeah.
No one else will know but us, and it's just that part of the game that I love so much. That
is what you're seeing. This and you know what, you're right. It is a transfer portal because you can call it nothing else.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's what it's become. And really, once COVID hit and college implemented that rule where they would allow a one-time transfer without a penalty, then it just became commonplace. And then that's the trickle-down effect. Now, we've had it for quite some time here in the state of Florida, but obviously we've never seen it to the extent we're seeing it now. I think this is one of the, depending upon how you feel about it, the worst years, or if you're in favor of it, better years in terms of transfers in Brevard County. But I guess my question is how, would you change this if you could snap your fingers, or what do you want to see done with this moving forward?
I don't know. I don't feel like there's a one good way to try to change it or fix it or make it better. It's very situational most times. Like if a kid moves to a different school area, obviously he has to transfer.
Right.
But also if a kid lives an hour and a half away and is coming to a powerhouse school to play football, then becomes kind of, it's that gray area that's like, what is right and what's wrong.
What are we doing?
Who's going to be able to dictate what it is? Because it could really hurt someone who's not trying to abuse the system, or it could benefit someone who's trying to get the most out of it. So,
in a couple of years, not even that long, I'm curious to get your take on NIL at the high school level, because obviously we see it in college.
Yeah.
But it's legal in 13 states now. Florida is pushing the envelope. There's legislation in Tallahassee right now that's going to make it legal in the state of Florida coming up in the next 18 to 24 months. What's your thought behind NIL in high school? I
would love it, but also know that the second it would be put in effect, it'd really fire up the transfer portal.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that's tough with that is once you allow that, then it gives areas with more money power over areas like others without it.
Good point, James.
So if you have a lower income district with a lower income school, they won't be able to compete with a higher income area that's able to just fork out thousands of dollars in NIL to
Right.
players.
Initiatives, yeah. That's a good point, and I'll be honest with you, it's not one I considered. To be honest with you, here with James Hinds. Well, James, I just want to say to close this part of the interview out. Your tweet touched a lot of. I've actually texted and discussed this particular tweet with a lot of people, and I didn't speak with one individual that was not impressed with it. So nice job. I mean, as of right now, 49,700 views. I'd say it's viral. All right, let's talk a little bit about you, because we'll talk about your team when I come around in August. So the first thing I noticed about you, besides you're a big dude, lean dude. I mean, usually offensive lineman's got a little, like I got right here, right? He's got none of it. He's a lean guy, 6'3". What are you, 280?
280, between 280 and 290 now.
Oh, big arms, man. First thing I noticed outside the mullet. Is this a Melbourne thing? What's up with the mullet? Listen, I pulled out a picture because I knew you had one. There's a picture of me as a senior in high school. There's the mullet. So I'm no stranger to mullets, okay?
Yeah.
So how did the mullet come back?
So, sophomore year, I was determined that I wasn't going to let it take over, and I wasn't going to do it because both Hunter and Cody did the mullet,
Right.
dyed it, and it was a big thing, and Dawson Cluse also did it, and everyone was starting to do it on our team, and it was like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to play left tackle and have fun. And I got to beginning of my junior year, and I had some personal stuff happen, and I was like, you know what, it would be a good change to have a different haircut and different facial hair.
Turn it over.
So I went full send into the mullet and
I like it.
And haven't looked back since.
And it's been since you got the mullet, it's been great things have happened. I mean, you played over at Camping World Stadium. Tell us a little bit about that experience. You were the overall MVP of the game the year after, as you were telling me. Cody Black was over there. Talk about that experience going over there, playing on the turf in a big stadium.
It was amazing. I got the opportunity my sophomore year, and I got to meet the coaches that run it and the guys who run it, and they do a great job with it. I like it because it's a group of underdogs. It's the guys that go there aren't the 5 stars who can go to the big games and stuff. We are the undersized guys who aren't projected to go anywhere, and then they go to that and they get the exposure they need to go to the next level. I think last year they had some 60 or 70 guys sign and get opportunities to go somewhere, and that was just like their first time ever doing it in Camping World, and like 8th annual.
I love it.
One, but this very last year they did it bigger and better, still at Camping World Stadium, but they did great with the uniforms. I love the uniforms.
Yeah, the uniforms are cool, man.
They did white and black, and I got to be on the black team, and it was fun. It was hot, but luckily it was kind of rainy that day, so the clouds blocked up most of the sun.
You take a look at, and I know that the recruiting trail has been sluggish, for you, but with your size, with your work ethic, talk a little bit about that. How is I know you talked to Cody, but seeing him over at USF, I know that's got to be able to tell you, I can do this too. Take me a little bit through. Have you spoke to Cody? How's he doing?
He's doing good. I actually got to talk to coaches when I went there for camp, and they said he's a great guy and he's doing well.
Doing well? That's good. Glad to hear it. Off the football field, when you're not working out, what are you doing, man? What does James Hinds do for fun, man?
Well, my coaches will tell you I spend too much time on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do try to network myself as much as possible on Twitter.
You know what? That's right. You were the guy they pointed to last year when I was giving. That's right. That's funny. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it is kind of an inside joke on our team that a coach will come up to me and he's like, "What are you doing last night? Twitter?" And I was like, "You know what, coach? you can't. I was, but that's not.
Listen, you'll be ready to go for NIL.
Yeah.
That's all they need to know.
And that's the kind of hidden secret about the social media stuff is like if you can build up a following in high school, that's that much easier to go to college. And then if I'm in college and I'm not on full scholarship, I can pay what my scholarship isn't with NIL. So
Right.
I don't have to work at like a McDonald's and do 4 jobs while trying to do football and everything.
That's a great point. And you know what? To have a grasp on, love it or hate it, you look at what this, and I think he's a knucklehead, but you look at what this knucklehead father is doing for his son, baby Gronk, right? And the money this dad is supposedly putting aside. The point of the story is the money that can be made if you properly navigate it.
Yep.
Now, whether he's properly navigating it or not, I don't know. But all I'm saying is that if you know how to work it, you can make money at it. And there's nothing wrong with that because you're not going to be playing football forever. Like if I picked up your phone right now, what do you listen to music-wise? What's some of your favorite music genres?
It's unique. So I was really into rock and like
Hard, heavy, what?
more classic rock.
Gotcha.
AC/DC, Van Halen.
Okay.
Mountaineers.
Gotcha.
But once I started playing football and stuff, I moved into rap a little bit.
Okay. All right.
So if you look through my playlist, you'll find a bunch of classic rock, AC/DC, and then Taylor Swift once in a while.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Just for the fun of it.
Just for the fun of it.
And then I know I love the rap artists like Lil Baby.
Okay. All right.
Money Man, all those guys.
What do you like to eat, man? When you're allowed to eat whatever the hell you want to eat, what is James Hinds shoveling down?
I'm blessed to have an Italian mother.
Oh!
So she can make amazing Italian food.
What's your favorite dish she makes?
Oh, man. Noodles and cabbage is what we call it. It's basically just
Really?
butter noodles with like salt and pepper, cabbage.
You know
and-
what? It's what's
and,
the I can't
sausages.
I can't remember the name of it, but my ex-wife used to make it all the time. She was Italian, and I know it's delicious, man.
Yeah.
Krautfleckel or something like that is what she
Yeah.
called it. Something crazy.
I think it is technically Polish and not Italian, but I'm not sure.
But they put a little Italian twist on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's really good. I don't know.
So where do you see yourself? What do you want to like? What do you like to study in school? And what would you like to be doing as a career one day?
I'm really interested in pursuing cybersecurity. I really like cybersecurity. You know, I never used to like computers and stuff, but at Melbourne we have this digital design class, and I had a great teacher for it, and he kind of showed me how to use computers. And after learning how easy it was once you learned it, I was like, well, this isn't that bad. And then I also watching my stepdad and his success and his defense contracting that he does. I don't know what he does, but he does cybersecurity, and that's the extent of what we know. And it's been very beneficial for him. It was easy for him to get a job here. When we moved here,
With all the space and yeah.
And the areas that are big in defensive contracting is like Texas, Florida, and Colorado, which are all places I'd love to live. So.
And one of our biggest sponsors, if not our biggest sponsor, is a gentleman by the name of Loverter Jones, and he owns the company, cybersecurity company here locally called BlackRock Engineering and Technology. And BlackRock Engineering and Technology, one of the best out there in cyber security. So we know you know you got an Italian mom. Tell us a little bit about the rest of your family.
Well, my dad lives in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 6'5", and like
Okay, so that's where your size comes from.
yeah, 6'5", like 300 pounds. Should have played football, but he didn't.
Okay.
He
Now, do
played-
you get to get out there and see your dad often?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I get to see him pretty often.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that. Go ahead. What's it like out in Oklahoma, man?
It's dry.
Yes.
It's a dry heat, and you know it'll be funny. I'd go there during the summer, and all the grass would be dead, so it'd just be.
You ever see a tornado out there?
No, we've been in pretty good tornado warnings though.
Oh, have you?
Like the storm was all around us, and we basically had to just wait in the house and see
Wait.
if we're gonna go in the shelter.
They don't play around. Once those sirens go off, man, it's not like here, right?
No.
You know a hurricane's out there, man. You hear those sirens, you better take cover.
Yep.
That's the way it goes, man. I was in a tornado once in Ohio, and Let's just say you don't play them lightly, James. And I said, what do you? A lot of people think that this is a rebuilding year coming up for Melbourne. And I know that the guys on this football, I know you got a good transfer quarterback that's come in. And so I know that you guys on that field don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. What are your goals and expectations for this team this year?
Um, there's certain games that I want to win, just as a selfish, personal thing.
Sure.
Just to finish out my high school career. Um, I'd love for us to make playoffs. But the biggest thing I want to do personally is to teach good skills for these younger guys to
Leave a legacy.
Be good leaders and be ready, because may not be next year, this upcoming season. I think we'll be very competitive and everything, but the next couple of years with some of the freshmen that really don't have a name right now, but with these freshmen that came in, their potential is way more than I've seen in a while, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people, but it won't surprise me when I'm in college and I'm seeing the highlights coming out and the scoreboards and everything.
Will you keep us posted on your progress in your recruiting this year? Make sure you tag us and everything, and on Twitter, because we love watching you play. And we broadcast a lot of Melbourne football, and this year will be no different. So you keep us posted, won't you?
Yes, sir.
James, thank you so much for coming into the studio today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So if you'd like to sit right where James Hinds is, the information is right there on the bottom of the screen. Email me, and there's even my phone number right there. You can call, or don't call me, text me, because I won't answer the phone. You know me. I just won't answer the phone. Send me a text and we'll talk. But I want to thank James Hinds and, of course, Caleb Brown for getting the studio here set up. And it's trickling down here, the summer series of interviews for Mr. James Hinds. I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody.